caller, what do you?
When Christ,
I don't know.
when Christ was pretty consistent on the thing he did, you know.
Hey, caller, can I ask
just
you a
like
question?
Moses,
Caller,
on
caller,
everything he did.
caller. I need
Yes.
you to answer a question. Do you have me on speakerphone?
No, sir.
Okay, because it sounds like you're really far in and it's really difficult hearing you. If you could maybe
Okay,
move
how
the
about
phone,
now?
maybe put the phone closer to your mouth. That would be good, or whatever, and see if that works better. Okay.
How about now?
That is definitely better. Okay, so if you could rephrase the question, please, and as simple as possible, if you don't mind.
Okay, why the Jewish people don't believe that Christ was the Messiah of the times when Christ did the same things as Moses as a sign, even having a prophet with him, which was John the Baptist.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
Rabbis, y'all got that?
Let me go first because
Okay,
you're
thank
gonna
you.
probably talk
Go
for
ahead
half
and
an
go ahead and hang up
hour.
now.
Well, very simple.
Hang on.
First of all,
Wait, Rabbi, second. Okay, I had to turn you guys down because I need to talk. Okay, go ahead and hang up now and listen in for your answer. Okay, it'll be about 15-second lag. Okay, thank you for your question. Great call, man. Okay, Rabbi, take it away.
First of all, let's deal with this. Moses went up to Mount Sinai. God spoke to him in front of probably around 3 million people. Everybody heard the voices. Everybody heard everything that was going on. It was a pretty well-known event, what was going on there. Pretty, it's pretty hard to miss it if you were among the crowd of 3 million people or so that were there, okay? Jesus is so obscure, there's like no historical information that we have from that time. Nobody in this time seemed to know who he was. And this is admitted even by many evangelicals. It's not question about that he was not known. So to compare him with Moses is totally. I mean, Moses split the Red Sea for 3 million people to go across. He brought, from heaven food to eat for 40 years. I mean, we can go through all the things that Moses did. Jesus, okay, let's say he made 5,000 people eat loaves of bread. Okay, fine. So that doesn't make equal to 3 million people eating for 40 years. I mean, the Torah says this, nobody like Moses is going to be. I mean, it's a pretty big act to follow, and I'm sorry to say that nobody's beaten that act yet until now. From just what it says in the Torah, and it doesn't. We don't know every single day what happened, but just what it says in the Torah, nobody beat that act. Tovia, I don't think you're not going to disagree with that. I know Charlton Heston did a pretty good job in the movie, but in real life, he didn't beat that act. Okay.
Right.
I heard the book is better than the movie.
The books are always better than the
movie.
movies.
You have to leave out all the good parts.
All right. Go ahead.
It's just,
I wish this guy called in earlier. I really, Moshe, I just want to say
I do too. Y'all could take an hour on this, easy.
I wish I would give whoever you are, please call back on my show next Sunday because I really would enjoy this. But continue, Moshe.
Trust me. No, wait, guys. I have a question for. Wait, I have a question and proposition for both of you guys. Okay, Rabbi, I know you're a singer. I know you're tired as can be. But if I could give you another half an hour, would you take it right now?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, you got another half an hour. Let's do it. No more calls though.
They have no answer for
Look, if you didn't ask me for
the question.
Yeah, but you're not as tired as Rabbi Singer is. I know that for a fact.
There is only one
Okay.
answer to the question, and they're not going to say it.
Coming on soon, so
Remind me what the name of it is.
It's the Big Bang Theory, man. Come on, it's the big.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that in years.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Okay, you guys take as long as you need.
Episode.
Y'all take as long as you need. Let's exhaust this thing.
I mean, let me just add something, and then we'll let Tovia finish up on this guy.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, historically, the New Testament has absolutely no. I mean, there's so many errors in it historically itself. Luke with the census is never could be. I mean, just to give you one point as to why the census couldn't be, is that it says that everybody had to go to the place where their family was from. Now, Joseph goes to Jerusalem because that was the city of David. Well, the problem is the city of David had to go to Bethlehem, the city of David. Well, the problem with the city of David is Jerusalem. And it says it in the Tanakh. And the reason why the city of David is Jerusalem is because he left the state. He was born in Bethlehem. That's true. He was first king in Hebron, and then he established Jerusalem, so it became his city, and it was called his city in the Tanakh. So you're saying that the Romans decreed that Joseph had to go where his ancestor 800 or so years, I don't know the exact calculation, 800, 900 years so is. It just makes absolutely no sense at all. It's okay, that's just historical. Besides the fact that we know that there was not, we know Augustus actually wrote an autobiography, and he did have 2 worldwide censuses. One was too early and one was too late. But it was only within his kingdom. It wouldn't apply to Judea, but it would apply.
The question was,
there's so many historical errors.
Stumbling block for them.
Another example, on my show I talked about it. We know that there's stories in the New Testament that never happened. We know for a fact the story of the woman found in adultery. Daniel Wallace is a very big scholar in the New Testament. He deals with all the texts that are there. He refers to this favorite story about Jesus that's not from the New Testament, but appears in John, in our book of John. Never happened. It's not a story. It never happened. There's no proof of it happening. It was written in sometime later by somebody who must have heard the story and liked it and put it in. But there's no reliability on that. I mean, it's about reliable as maybe Harry Potter. I mean, it's the reliability factor. It's not. You can't tell me that Jesus did because it says in the New Testament, because you have to first show me that I should even believe anything it says in there. And it's very hard. What he says about Pilate was one of those vicious people on the face of the earth. He rates in the class of Nazis as far as hatred of Jews. I mean, really, and his cruelty. I mean, these are historical records, not just us. Philo talks about him because he went to Caligula about him. Josephus talks about him.
Historical records.
He's even mentioned
the Old Testament
in Roman
has
records
no
about what kind of guy
historical
this guy was in.
But the Old
New
Testament
he's a
itself,
pussycat. He's like me and tovia, just laughing together, having a good time. You cannot rely on the New Testament to say historically what Jesus actually did. Simple as that. Tovia.
Sure. So I think people think that Jesus' name was Jesus Christ and his mother was Mary and Joseph Christ.
Right.
The name, the word Christ, Greek for Mashiach in Hebrew, that's defined in Tanakh of an heir to the throne of David who would bring about a worldwide peace, the ingathering of the exiles, the Isaiah 43:6, the rebuilding of the temple, the whole end of the book of Ezekiel, the worldwide knowledge of God, Isaiah 11, and on and on and on. There is, listen very carefully, whoever you are, there is no relationship between what Jesus did and what Tanakh says the Messiah is supposed to do. So Jesus doesn't qualify. So that there's nothing that Jesus did that fulfills this. No resurrection of the dead. Daniel chapter 12, verse 2, Isaiah chapter 26, verse 19. That's the first issue. That's the most important thing. The second thing is you're engaged. Please don't be offended, but you're engaging in circular reasoning. Let me explain. Let me ask you a question, whoever you are in Chicago. Why aren't you a Mormon? I mean, it says openly in the Book of Mormon that Joseph Smith in the early 19th century discovered gold plates in upstate New York, and he had numerous encounters with the angel Moroni. So why don't you move to Utah and join the Church of the Latter-day Saints? The answer you'll give me, of course, you don't believe in the Book of Mormon.
Of course.
If you a priori believe in the New Testament, this goes to what Rabbi Shulman just said, then you're already a Christian. The New Testament claims are what in question. You can't use the New Testament to prove Christianity. Because if I buy into the New Testament, I'm already a Christian. So, therefore, if you first thing you need to do, Kendall, is first go to Tanakh and ask the question, what do the prophets of blessed memory say the Mashiach is supposed to do? We have clear prophecies. Please read Isaiah 11, read Ezekiel 37. It's everywhere. Jesus didn't do any of those things. We would wish he did. You know, people think we just hate Christianity. It's not that. we do because of the way they behave. But it's not that. It's because there's no relationship between the two. Number two is you can't prove Christianity from the Christian Bible. Because if you already believe in the Christian Bible, then you're already a Christian. And then you're in this spinning circle. No more than you can prove the Church of the Latter-day Saints from the Book of Mormon. You have to prove it from the Jewish scriptures. And, of course, you can't do that. So you can go, Jesus was the Christ of his day. On what basis? The New Testament? If you a priori believe in the New Testament, you're already a Christian. And that means that no religion can be dismissed. I'll ask you, how come you're not a Hindu? It says openly in the Bhagavad Gita that there are all these deities. How come you don't? Because you don't believe in the Bhagavad Gita. That's why. So number one is it's not consistent with Tanakh at all, zero. Number two is this is completely irrational. You can't a priori say I trust the Christian Bible. If you do, then you're already Christian. So the whole conversation has come to an end. It's a very interesting question from Chicago, whoever you are, and I really thank you for calling. I'm sorry you waited so long to call in. It's a great question.
Well,
where are you? Why are you calling from the loop in Chicago now? Now that it's the show is coming to.
It was a good show, guys. That was amazing.
It was.
Yes,
it
indeed.
was.
And so, are we going to try to do this again? And if so, how frequently are we going to try this? Rabbi Shulman, this is...
The big battle is coming up.